Hey friend, Roger Christopherson here again with another first lesson review. It's been a busy weekend. There's a whole lot of stuff came out this weekend. I don't know if I'm going to get to it all, but I don't decide when the stuff's released. So we got some all over the place this weekend. And here's another one that I just got done listening to. It's Epica. Well, they're calling it an EP. This is like 35 minutes long, so I'm calling it an album. Some of the albums I've been reviewing lately have been shorter than this, so it's called the Alchemy Project. And basically, it looks like the idea behind this was, 'cause I didn't really know anything about it, was that it's 7 songs co-written with people from other bands, and just actually there's one song in here that's featuring a whole nother band. That I guess that was the first one written, was the band Shining, which is the only band named here that I'm really not familiar with. So I found that pretty interesting. That's actually a really good song too. If anybody out there doesn't know who Epica is, they've been around for like 20 years. There was a band called After Forever, which I was a fan of, and it's symphonic metal with female fronted. That's what After Forever was. And the leader of that one there, Mark Jansen, left that band and formed Epica with Simone Simmons, and they've been pretty much the creative force behind that band. Simone has made some guest appearances, most notably with Camelot, and that's kind of like one of my favorite bands as well. And they actually took the name of the band from a Camelot album, so there's a pretty close relationship there. And Tommy Karavik actually makes an appearance on this, who is the newest lead singer of Camelot. So they're still, doing things together. So anyway, I guess we'll get right into it. This was one of the heaviest things I've heard them release in quite a while too. A lot of the big albums they've been doing, they've been like these big productions, very symphonic, a lot of orchestration. And Simone sings both in her natural voice and then just the operatic singing, I guess is the best way to describe it. Mainly that's what she does, is those two. And on the last, 3 releases, I guess, she's been doing a lot more of the operatic stuff than before. And which she does it well. She's got a beautiful voice, got an amazing range. Nothing bad about her at all, but I want to hear some. I like what drew me in originally was the heaviness with the singing over the top of it, and then the heaviness kind of started dissipating a little bit, and there was just a lot of operatic singing with none of her natural voice singing, I guess is how best way I can think to put it. So on this album, still got the I guess I'm still calling it an album. She does a lot of the operatic stuff still, but she's doing a lot more singing in her own voice on this one. It's a good mix-up. There's one song she doesn't sing on at all, which I found to be a little strange. But anyway, that aside, the first song on the album is called The Great Tribulation, or Tribulation. And that was featuring Flesh God Apocalypse, which I know who they are, or he is. I actually don't know if it's him or a band, I'll be honest. I've heard a couple things. It's not really my cup of tea. I'm not super into the death vocals. I mean, I can take that in doses here and there, but I wouldn't want to listen to a whole album of that. And for me, it doesn't matter how good the music is. A lot of times that death singing, I just don't want to listen to it. So it is what it is. We all have our own tastes. I'm not going to knock it or anything. It's just not my cup of tea. However, in this song, it's one of those situations where it's the dose that I enjoy. It's like it makes sense. She's singing, and the song's heavy, and there's that hard vocal, then it just goes well. I mean, Camelot does a song where they had the singer from Meshuggah doing the background vocals in there, and that's perfect. I mean, that's what I like. Amaranth, however you pronounce that. That band has 3 vocalists, and then one of them's that harsh stuff, and I just like when they mix that in there. So I do like it. I just don't want to hear a whole album just constantly that. Same way I don't want to hear the whole album of just operatic singing. I like hearing what people sound like. I like people's voices. however unique or whatever they are. That's just my personal taste. But anyway, enough of that. Now the second song on here is called "Wake the World." It's probably one of the best songs on this whole thing. That the one that's got Tommy Karavik singing on. He's a new singer for Camelot. He sings in the band Seventh Wonder, which just actually had an album come out this past year. And Phil Lanzon, who was the keyboard player for Uriah Heep. So, cool mix-up there. I mean, that was really a unique mix-up. And this song is really, really good. It's Camelot-esque, but it still has that big Epica feel to it. Epica is a lot more symphonic than Camelot. I know I keep referring to the two, but that's kind of what inspired. I've seen interviews and stuff with Simone, and she says that band really inspired her to want to do this. So it's not out of normal here for me to talk about the two of them together like that. So anyway, the song's great. It just it's real well written. It's actually the longest one on here too. Oh, second longest one. Clocking in at just a little over 6 minutes, and I really like that one. So the third song on here, The Final Lullaby, was actually the first song that was written for this project. It was written with a band called Shining, which it was, like I previously said, I'm not really familiar with at all. So I guess they're one of these Scandinavian bands. I have never heard any of their other stuff, so I don't know how this compares to what they've done, and in the past or anything like that. So I don't know what they would normally do, but so it's hard for me to judge how the two of them blended. But I guess they're Norwegian here. I was just kind of looking over it really quick, and I guess they have a saxophone in the band too, which I guess I'm gonna have to check them out because I've never listened to them, so I guess that's one thing I'm gonna have to listen to. The song's called "The Final Lullaby." It was it starts out with a really cool riff, and of course a riff is not a song, but it develops into some really good changes, and the chord progression is really cool, and it's once again heavy. I mean, that's the thing about this album. Even the slower ones on here are heavy, and there's only one really that I would consider slower, and that would be the next one called Sirens, which features Charlotte Wessels, which some of you guys may know from the band Delane, and there's an artist called Mirker, which I hadn't ever listened to before, but I guess she is Danish, and which is kind of fitting for this song because apparently it was written from the point of view of what the sisters of the Little Mermaid were thinking. So I mean, that's quite unique. I have to give them an A for originality on that one. That's kind of a unique way to listen to things. And listen to the lyrics, I was like, that's pretty cool. I liked it, and their voices really blend well together. And it's probably one of the other highlights of the album. Not that anything on here is really bad, but that one and "Wake the World" so far are my favorites. And probably actually are my favorites. I'm looking at what the rest of them were, but the next song, "Death Is Not the End," is featuring I know I'm gonna screw this name up, but it's Frank Syforst, I don't know, from the band Mayan, which I am familiar with. I like that band; they're pretty cool. And Jorn Streed from Soilwork. The funny part is I like Soilwork, but he's also got a side project called the Night Flight Project, which I actually love that band. That band's cool. If you ever get a chance to check out the Night Flight Orchestra, that's cool. It's he sings in that. It's kind of strange because he's more known for that harsh vocals he does in Soilwork, but when he sings, he's got a really cool sounding voice. It reminds me of 70s rock and Blue Oyster Cultish. I hate to compare it to too many other bands, but it's got that feel anyway. So if you ever get a chance to check them out, check them out. However, on the song, it's a lot of the harsh vocals. With Simone singing on it, really cool. That blends well. I wish I could have heard him sing on it. I think I would have liked that better, but still, good song nonetheless. Now, song number 6 was Human Devastation. It's got Henry Sattler from God Dethroned and Sven Kaljue from Aborted. neither band is a band that I listen to. I've heard of them, don't listen to them. And this was really short. The song was really short, really fast and heavy. Probably the heaviest thing I've ever heard Epica do. Yeah, just under 3 minutes, and it was pretty much a death metal song. Blast beats and all. So that was a little different. The musically I enjoyed it. Vocally, not so much. And I don't even think Simone sang on it, so it was a little strange. But anyway, it's short, so it didn't really throw me off too much. Now, however, the last song, the minor, epic, 7-minute song, just about. Everything Epica is known to be. It's got the huge operatic stuff going on. It's got the big orchestration. It's heavy. It's got Asim Sarah from Damnation Plan, Neil Savanen from Insomnium, which is a cool band. You should check them out. And Roel Van Helden from Powerwolf, which I actually really like Powerwolf. I've listened to them probably since the beginning as well. Really good power metal. So, I guess the name Powerwolf is pretty fitting. And the song, was all of that. You can hear all the influences and all the different... it's weird how it blended so well. So, the only... thing I didn't care for so much was Human Devastation, the shortest song on here, but the rest of it, 6 out of 7. Come on, that's not too bad at all. That's really killer songs, actually, really good. I was really, really happy listening to this one. The only thing I could say is, I wish it was more, just a little bit longer, maybe a couple more songs. That would have been great to have a full length, even though it was 35 minutes, which is pretty darn close. So, I guess can't complain too much. So I guess I'm going to be tricky and rate this one a 6 out of 7. Never done that before, but I guess it's kind of fitting. Yeah, tell me what you guys think of it. Tell me what you guys think of Epica. If you've never listened to Epica, they're a great band. If you're into that style of music, if you're into Nightwish or Within Temptation, or even bands like Camelot that have male vocalists. They also have, Camelot has a lot of female guests on all their albums anyway, ever since, the Black Halo, I think. So, anyway, tell me what you guys think. Like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff like I always say, and we'll talk to you guys later. See ya.